3:22 GMT. Now, what's the common denominator here?
Territorial questions and arguments of power, of common welfare and justice.
Я писал и ждал. Конечно, я ощущал, что я нахожусь в постоянном изгнании.
Einstein, Solzhenitsyn and the cellist Rostropovich were all stateless, people who at one time or another had no citizenship or nationality. Sometimes it's because of their race or ethnicity, sometimes religion, sometimes because they're a minority. They don't have passports or proper papers. As a result, they aren't allowed to go to school or get work. They're believed to be around 12 million stateless people in the world. And for the first time, there's going to be a big international conference looking at their plight. Antonio Guterres, head of the UNHCR, is chairing that meeting.
The terrible frustration of about 12 million people in the world that have no nationality, no country to call theirs. And in some situations, it's dramatic. It means you cannot send your children to school, you have no papers, you cannot have a driver's license, you cannot travel. So indeed, a forgotten issue, but we will make an enormous effort during this conference and then during next year in order to put these in the center of the international human rights agenda. And I'm encouraged by the fact that we have already the announcement of almost 20 countries that intend to ratify this convention.
Well, let's hear what it means to be a stateless person from Mohamed Alenezi, a Bedouin who lived in Kuwait.
It is a tragedy story because the government withdrew the nationality from us, and we are a very big, huge number, hundreds of thousands of people. Before they promised us to give us the nationality, and then they changed their minds and they changed our names 6 times from Kuwaiti to Kuwaiti from deserts, and then to non-Kuwaiti, then without nationality, or Bidoon, which is famous, and in the end they make us illegal residents.
And what did that mean? But you were a young boy, were you, at this time? How did it affect your life?
I was a student in that time, really. For the first time when I heard, I was shocked when I was in the school, when I saw the register that they wrote in the front of my name that I am non-Kuwaiti. It was really painful for me that I found that I am not a citizen for that country, which I love and I know. I was asking why always. There was no reason which you can accept it or believe it. It is just the authority and the government decisions which is definitely wrong.
And how did that then affect your life as you grew up, being a non-Kuwaiti?
It is really in 2 things. First, psychological. I shocked, and it is painful that I found they call me as a stateless person. This is something which hurt you, and it's special in the dignity that you lose your dignity. They look to you that you're under them, not like their level. And also, you need the nationality for everything, for your life, to work, for education, for health service, for accommodation, for traveling by passport, for the driving license. We wasn't allowed for all this human rights because I'm not Kuwaiti and because I'm stateless. We were not eligible for anything of this human rights.
So if you wanted to go and see a doctor, that would be a problem, because you wouldn't have any documents at all. That would be a problem, would it?
It is suffering, really. They prevent us from treatment, and if you want to have treatment and really you are suffering, you have 2 choices: to have the pain and keep like this and go to private doctor while you don't have money, or one of those who have the Kuwaiti nationality can go to the doctor and take the treatment and give it to you. And if you have a chronic disease like diabetic, or even if it is cancer, you will suffer and suffer.
So it costs people their lives.
Definitely. We lose many children. We have a famous, there was a child called Al-Unan. 9 years his father asked the government to give him passport after the Saudi government agreed to treat him, and the crown prince in Saudi Arabia, he wanted to send aircraft to him to bring him to Saudi Arabia, but 9 years they didn't give him the passport until he died between the hands of his dad.
And what about work? I mean, you mentioned work. Did it mean you could get work, but you were badly paid, you were discriminated against, or you couldn't get work, or what?
Even if it is in the government or private work, you are not allowed to work. And if they found you working, they will arrest you and they will let you pay penalty of about $300 if they find you working there. The people used to sell fruits in the streets and they arrested them and take the fruits they have and let them pay penalty. And if they do it again, they will put them in the jail.
Now, there is the first conference of its kind on stateless people, I understand, or at least first big international conference of its kind. Do you have a message for those people that would like to try and change things? What would be your message to try and, I guess, stop people going through what you've gone through?
Really, I see that these governments which have stateless people, if they have solution, they should do it from a long time. We are in Kuwait now more than 60 years. So if they don't have pressure from outside and from the modern countries, the human rights countries, there should be a general meeting. They should make agreement to obligate these countries, the authorities, to finish this situation and let all the stateless people to have the nationality of their countries.
Mohamed Alenezi, a former stateless person, he's now living in London as a teacher with his family. You're listening to the BBC, The World Today, 3:30 GMT time.